Hello and welcome to the Mastermind semi-finals with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Phil Novick, a teacher. His specialist subject is the classic comedy series Blackadder. Claire Reynolds, an actuary. She'll be answering questions on the British industrialist and statesman Joseph Chamberlain. Rashmi Bardwaj, a retired chartered accountant, whose subject is the Hollywood actor Gregory Peck. And Lewis Jones, a project manager. His specialist subject, The Legend of Zelda video games. Close, but no cigar. None of our 4 semi-finalists wants that to be their Mastermind epitaph. Yes, they got through the heats, but the semi-final was just a bridge too far. They want success, that coveted place in the Mastermind Grand Final, and this magnificent glass bowl at the end of it all. But 2 minutes of questions on their specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge may have something to say about that. Let's find out. We wish them all well. So, can I ask our first semi-finalist to join us, please? Your name?
Phil Novick.
Your occupation?
Teacher.
And your specialist subject?
Blackadder.
The comedy series set in various historical eras, starring Rowan Atkinson as the titular rogue and Tony Robinson as his hapless servant, Baldric. In 2 minutes, let's go. Which actor who appears in all 4 television series plays characters called Percy in series 1 and 2?
Tim McInerney.
Yes, in Blackadder's Christmas Carol, Ebenezer Blackadder runs a shop from premises in Dumpling Lane in Old London town, selling what items?
Massages.
Yes, in Blackadder 2, when Edmund suggests that people might try to eat the newly discovered potato, Baldric replies, stranger things have happened, giving the example of that horse becoming what?
Pope.
Yes. What's the title of the episode in Blackadder III in which Miranda Richardson guest stars as the industrialist Mr. Hardwood's daughter, who turns out to be the notorious highwayman known as the Shadow?
Amy and Amiability.
Yes, exterior scenes for Blackadder 2, including the musical montage of Edmund spending time with his servant Bob. And the closing credit sequences were filmed in the grounds of what stately home in Wiltshire?
Wilton House.
Yes, which media executive, who was at the time the controller of BBC One, almost cancelled Blackadder before Series 2 went into production, only to change his mind after being assured that it wouldn't cost as much to make as the first series?
Michael Grade.
Yes, during rehearsals for the 4th series, the character Captain Darling initially had what surname?
Cartwright.
Yes, in the episode Sense and Senility. What's the name of the fellow who wants someone to help him with the marketing of his new invention, a moving kettle?
George Stephenson.
Yes, in the first series episode, Born to be King, Edmund's elder brother, Prince Harry, says that Morris dancers, eunuchs and bearded women are the traditional entertainment on which annual Saints' Day?
St Leonard.
Yes, in the final episode of the 4th series, Private Baldric shares a poem he's written entitled The German Guns, which comprises what word spoken 14 times?
Boom.
Yes, in the episode Private Plane, Edmund and Lieutenant George Colthurst St Barley, played by Hugh Laurie, joined the Royal Flying Corps, only to learn that the average life expectancy of a new pilot is how long?
20 minutes.
Yes, in the Blackadder 2 episode Money, Edmund reveals that his father squandered the family fortune and made a living doing humorous impressions of which wife of Henry VIII?
Anne Boleyn.
No, Anne of Cleves. Phil. At the end of that round, you've got no passes. You've got 11 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Claire Reynolds.
And Claire, you didn't win your heat last time around, but as the highest scoring runner-up, you're back, taking the place of Mike Noyes, who can't, I'm afraid, be with us tonight. So, thank you very much for joining us. Now, let me ask you your occupation.
Actuary.
And your specialist subject?
Joseph Chamberlain.
The British industrialist, statesman and social reformer, born in London in 1836. In 2 minutes, let's go. Joseph Chamberlain's lifelong association with Birmingham began in 1854 when he moved there to work for a screw-making firm founded by which uncle?
John Nettlefold.
Yes, what was the maiden name of Harriet, to whom Chamberlain was married for 2 years until her early death, and her cousin Florence, whom Chamberlain married in 1868, but who likewise died early?
Kenrick.
Yes, in which city did Chamberlain stand as a Liberal Party candidate at the general election in 1874, although he was defeated?
Sheffield.
Yes, Chamberlain was first elected to Parliament in 1876 when he won a by-election prompted by the resignation of which Birmingham MP, who subsequently replaced Chamberlain as head of the city's school board?
George Dixon.
Yes, Chamberlain was unexpectedly brought into the cabinet by William Gladstone in 1880 to serve as president of what government body?
Board of Trade.
Yes, what name did Chamberlain choose for the mansion he'd had constructed in Birmingham in 1880, taking it from the district of London where he'd lived as a child?
Highbury Hall.
Yes, from 1883 to 84, Chamberlain wrote a series of articles advocating his radical programme of reform for what publication edited by T.H.S. Escott?
Fortnightly Review.
Yes, Chamberlain's developing imperialist attitude was strongly influenced by what best-selling 1883 book by J.R. Seeley, which was a defence of Britain's role in global affairs?
The Expansion of England.
Yes, Chamberlain was instrumental in encouraging which peer to donate more than 25 acres of his land in Edgbaston for the construction of the campus of Birmingham University?
Lord Selborne.
No, Lord Colthorpe. What name was given to the series of meetings of senior Liberal politicians first proposed by Chamberlain and held in early 1887 in an effort to determine the party's Irish policy?
The Round Table Conference.
Yes, in 1891, Chamberlain sent his son Neville to run a sisal plantation in the Bahamas after he was given the mistaken impression of its potential profitability in a discussion with which governor of those islands?
Smith.
No, Ambrose Shea. In 1898, Chamberlain opposed the government's decision to seize which harbour in northern China with a view to establishing a naval base there?
Way Highway.
It was Way Highway. Claire, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 10 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name,
Rashmi Bardwaj,
your occupation,
retired chartered accountant,
and your specialist subject.
Gregory Peck.
The Oscar-winning Hollywood actor born in 1916. In 2 minutes, let's go. Gregory was Peck's middle name, and he used it in preference to what first name, which he strongly disliked?
Eldred.
Yes, at university in Berkeley, California, Peck performed in a student production of what literary work, in which he would later star both on film and in a television adaptation, playing a different role each time?
Moby Dick.
Yes, after graduation, Peck worked as a promoter at the 1939 World's Fair and a tour guide at Rockefeller Center before taking up a scholarship at what acting school in New York?
The Neighborhood Playhouse.
Yes, Peck made his Broadway debut at the age of 25 in the leading role of what play by Emlyn Williams, though the production closed after 24 performances?
Chief Thing.
No, The Morning Star. Which film mogul commissioned Peck's first screen test but was disappointed with the results, writing, "If he has great personality, I don't think it comes through"?
Samuel Goldwyn.
No, David O. Selznick. Peck made 2 films directed by Alfred Hitchcock, the 1945 thriller Spellbound, and which drama released 2 years later?
The Paradigm Case.
Yes, the writer and director Moss Hart turned Peck down for the Broadway musical Lady in the Dark, but assured him that they'd work together someday, which they did, in what 1947 film with a screenplay by Hart?
Spellbound.
No, Gentleman's Agreement. When Peck won the Best Actor Oscar for To Kill a Mockingbird, he took 2 lucky charms along to the award ceremony, a rabbit's foot from his daughter, and what gift from the novel's author, Harper Lee, that had belonged to her father?
Watch and Chain.
Yes, in 1952, Peck met his second wife, Veronique Passani, to whom he would be married for 48 years when she interviewed him for what publication?
The Roman Times.
No, Francois. What's the title of the 1982 miniseries that was Peck's first foray into television acting, in which he agreed to play Abraham Lincoln on the condition that he was allowed to deliver the Gettysburg Address in its entirety?
The Blues and Greys.
Close, it's The Blue and the Grey. 6 of the films that Peck made between 1949, I've started to finish, 6 of the films that Peck made between 1949 and 1959, including David and Bathsheba, The Snows of Kilimanjaro, and Beloved Infidel, were all directed by which filmmaker?
Henry King.
It was Henry King. And at the end of that round, Rashmi, you had no passes. You've got 6 points.
Thank you.
And our final contender, please. Your name?
Lewis Jones.
Your occupation?
Project manager.
And your specialist subject?
The Legend of Zelda video games.
The acclaimed series of video games which follows the adventures of Princess Zelda and the heroic warrior Link in the fantasy land of Hyrule. In 2 minutes, let's go. The Triforce, a powerful artifact that's central to the plots of many games in the series, comprises 3 golden triangles representing power, wisdom, and what other quality?
Courage.
Yes, throughout the game, the Minish Cap, Link is accompanied and advised by which wise but sarcastic sage who's been transformed into a hat?
Eslo.
Yes, in the game, A Link to the Past, Link must travel to the Dark World, where he'll be turned into a rabbit unless he's carrying what object?
Pearl.
Yes, Moon Pearl. In Oracle of Ages, Link restores harmony to Symmetry Village by repairing a sacred treasure known by what palindromic 2-word name?
Tenet mirror.
No, Tuninut. Tetra, the seafaring alter ego of Princess Zelda in the game, the Wind Waker, can communicate with Link through the magic of a blue stone with what 2-word name?
Hearthstone.
No, Pirate's Charm. What's the name of the dungeon? The second of 8 that Link must explore in the game Link's Awakening that lies in the depths of the Goponga Swamp and is inhabited by a clown-like genie.
Hazy Cave.
No, Bottle Grotto. In the Adventure of Link, what's the name of the hidden town which Link can find by clearing a patch of forest, its residents having fled another town of the same name that was attacked by monsters?
Koholint.
No, Kasuto. What's the subtitle of the Legend of Zelda game in which Link gains an ability known as Ultra Hand, which allows him to move objects telekinetically?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes. Which character in the game Twilight Princess, who describes herself as the Princess of the Insect Kingdom, asks Link to bring her golden bugs in exchange for rewards?
Midna.
No, Agatha. At the start of the game, Triforce Heroes, Link reads a notice appealing for heroes to help defeat an evil witch, specifying that such heroes should possess side-parted hair, truly epic sideburns, and what other physical feature?
An earring.
No, pointy ears. Which Legend of Zelda game, originally sold alongside a re-release of A Link to the Past, was the first in the series designed to be played by several people simultaneously?
Four Swords Adventure.
Close, it's 4 swords. In the game, I've started, so I'll finish. In the game Ocarina of Time, what's the name of the enormous parasite described as a bioelectric anemone, which Link fights while inside the belly of the fish Jabu Jabu?
Goma.
No, Barinade. So, Lewis, at the end of that round, you had no passes, and you've got 4 points. At the end of the specialist subjects round in this semi-final, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 4 points, it's Lewis. In 3rd place with 6 points, it's Rashmi. In 2nd place with 10 points sits Claire. And in 1st place with 11 points, it's Phil. So now, the general knowledge round, and if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Lewis to join us again, please. Lewis, you start with 4 points. You've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. At the 2024 UK general election, which party won 412 seats?
Labour.
Yes, in the NATO phonetic alphabet, the letter M is represented by what boy's name?
Mike.
Yes. Which British group had UK hit singles in the 1980s entitled Girls on Film, Hungry Like the Wolf and The Wild Boys?
Duran Duran.
Yes. What was the basic unit of currency in Austria immediately before the introduction of the euro?
Shilling.
Yes. Which British author, who sets many of her novels in rural England, wrote the bestsellers A Village Affair and The Rector's Wife?
Trollope.
Yes. At the Academy Awards ceremony in 2024, the writers of what French film starring Sandra Hüller won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay?
Anatomy of a Fall.
Yes, an elaborately shaped observation tower known as the Orbit, first opened in London's Olympic Park in 2012, was designed by Cecil Bollmont and which British Indian sculptor?
Anish Kapoor.
Yes, the national flag of which island country in the Indian Ocean consists of 4 equal horizontal bands of red, blue, yellow and green?
Mauritius.
Yes. In April 2019, the Irish-trained racehorse Tiger Roll became the first horse this century to win what famous steeplechase in 2 consecutive years?
Grand National.
Yes. In 2022, which former EastEnders actor began hosting the television quiz show Bridge of Lies, in which teams attempt to cross a grid without stepping on an incorrect answer?
Ross Kemp.
Yes. What alternative term for crude oil is derived from Latin words for rock and oil?
Lithium.
No, Petroleum. The operas Carmen by Bizet and Don Giovanni by Mozart are both set in which Spanish city?
Seville.
Yes, what Hebrew name, meaning dedication, is given to the 8-day Jewish winter festival, sometimes known as the Festival of Lights, that involves the daily ceremonial lighting of candles?
Hanukkah.
Yes, a 40-foot-long fossil skeleton on permanent display at the Field Museum in Chicago, and given the name Sue, is one of the largest and most complete skeletons ever discovered of what carnivorous dinosaur?
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yes, in 2023, which newspaper columnist began co-presenting a podcast entitled The Rest is Entertainment with the author and television personality Richard Osman?
Marina Hyde.
Yes, the terms annual and biennial refer to plants that complete their life cycles in 1 and 2 years, respectively. What corresponding term is used to describe plants that live for several years?
Perennial.
Yes, what was the name of the clergyman who was imprisoned for fabricating the so-called Popish plot of 1678, a fictitious plan to assassinate King Charles II?
Or Beck.
No, Titus Oates, the Roslin Institute, best known for its research into animal biosciences and for creating the first mammal to be cloned from an adult cell in 1996, is part of which Scottish university?
Aberdeen.
No, Edinburgh. Lewis, you had no passes. You've got 19 points.
Thank you.
And next up, let's have Rashmi. Rashmi, you start with 6 points. The score to beat as it stands is 19 points, and you've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What French word meaning still or again is used in English by an audience at a concert to request an additional song from a musical act after the end of the main set?
Encore.
Yes, what official name is given to the tax introduced in the UK in 1986 that's levied against the estate of a person upon their death?
Inheritance tax.
Yes, which is the largest city in the Canadian province of British Columbia?
Ottawa.
No, Vancouver. In which sport did the British Paralympian Poppy Maskell win 3 gold and 2 silver medals in Paris in 2024?
Cycling.
No, swimming. Which planet in our solar system is the 5th closest to the sun and orbits at an average distance of around 483 million miles?
Jupiter.
Yes, which Australian singer had UK #1 albums with Fever in 2001, Aphrodite in 2010 and Golden in 2018?
Kylie Minogue.
Yes, the triangle of tough protective tissue on the underside of a horse's hoof shares its name with what small amphibious creature?
Plug.
No, frog. In 2017, which American newspaper adopted a new slogan, "Democracy dies in darkness," to appear beneath its masthead?
New York Times.
No, Washington Post. Which British author has written children's books entitled Cosmic, The Astounding Broccoli Boy, and Sputnik's Guide to Life on Earth?
Julia Davidson.
No, Frank Cottrell Boyce. What grammatical term refers to the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words? An example being wonderfully warm weather.
Alliterative.
Yes, in the Harry Potter film series, the character Ron Weasley is played by which actor?
Brian Smith.
No, Rupert Grint. What name after the Italian chef who created it at his restaurant in Tijuana, Mexico in 1924 is given to a salad made with cos lettuce, croutons, raw egg, olive oil, Worcestershire sauce and Parmesan cheese?
Carlucci.
No, Caesar salad. What's the regnal first name of the King of Denmark who succeeded his mother as monarch in January 2024?
Harold.
No, Frederick. The song This Wheel's on Fire, originally by Bob Dylan, is the theme tune to what television sitcom that began in 1992?
EastEnders.
No, Absolutely Fabulous. Burton Wood, Birch, Hart's Head Moor and Ferrybridge are service stations on which motorway in Northern England?
The M2.
No, the M62. What was the name of the Viennese? I've started, so I'll finish. What was the name of the Viennese-born pathologist who was awarded the 1930 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his discovery of human blood groups?
Freud.
No, Karl Landsteiner. You knew that one?
Yeah.
Yes, you did. It's that chair. Rashmi, at the end of that round, you had no passes. You've got 11 points.
Thank you.
Next up, it's Claire. Claire, you start with 10 points. The score to beat as it stands is 19 points, and you've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Here we go. In the name of the charity known as the YMCA, the letter Y stands for what word?
Young.
Yes, what adjective derived from a Latin verb meaning to fall down or fall off is used to describe trees that shed their leaves each year?
Deciduous.
Yes, which chemical element, a colourless, odourless gas at room temperature, has the atomic number 2?
Helium.
Yes, in March 2024, which American television talk show presenter hosted the Oscars ceremony for a 4th time?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes, what animal is Nutkin, the title character of a story by Beatrix Potter?
Squirrel.
Yes, which World Cup winning footballer appeared with Sylvester Stallone in the 1981 film Escape to Victory and was the Brazilian Minister for Sport from 1995 to 98?
Pele.
Yes, what name is given to the unit of weight that's used to measure the fineness of fibres such as silk, rayon or nylon and is commonly applied to tights and stockings?
Denier.
Yes, Vaduz, the capital city of Liechtenstein, stands on the eastern bank of which major European river?
Rhone.
No, the Rhine. What spice is sold in the form of 3-sided oval seed capsules obtained from various species of plants of the genus Eletaria and is commonly used to flavour curries and cakes?
Cardamom.
Yes, between 2003 and 2016, which British band had UK hit singles entitled Clocks, Fix You and Hymn for the Weekend?
Coldplay.
Yes, a former heart surgeon named Masoud Pezeshkian was sworn in as the new president of which Middle Eastern country in July 2024?
Saudi Arabia.
No, Iran, the 3rd child of William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, was given what first name when he was born in 2018?
Louis.
Yes, in July 2024, which private club in London's West End, founded in 1831 and named after a celebrated 18th century actor, admitted Dame Judi Dench and Dame Sian Phillips as its first female members?
Garrick.
Yes, Tate Britain's Claw Gallery is dedicated to the works of which British artist?
Turner.
Yes, on the moon in 1971, the astronaut David Scott demonstrated Galileo's finding that, in the absence of air resistance, objects fall at the same rate, regardless of mass, by simultaneously dropping a hammer and what other object?
A feather.
Yes, what percussion instrument, consisting of wooden bars that are struck with mallets, has a name derived from Greek words meaning wood and sound?
Xylophone.
Yes, in which 1970s American detective television series did the title characters drive, respectively, a red and white Ford Gran Torino, nicknamed the Striped Tomato, and a tan-coloured Ford Galaxy 500?
Starsky and Hutch.
You said that with trepidation. It's Starsky and Hutch. Claire, at the end of that round, no passes, 25 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have Phil again, please. Phil, you start with 11 points. The score to beat to get through to the Mastermind Grand Final is Claire's 25 points. And you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Here we go. The 3-letter name of which facial feature sounds the same as a vowel letter of the English alphabet?
I.
Yes. In cricket, an over consists of how many legitimate balls?
6.
Yes. In what 2000 film does Julia Roberts play a real-life lawyer's clerk who launches a legal case against a utility company responsible for polluting a city's water supply?
Erin Brockovich.
Yes, the ski resort of Aviemore, the market town of Kingyuzi and the scenic village of Ballater are in which Scottish national park?
Cairngorms.
Yes, the tree with the scientific name Pyrus communis produces what edible fruit?
Plum.
No, pear. What's the name of the evil mythical marine spirit whose locker is referred to in a term for the resting place on the seabed of those who've drowned at sea?
Davy Jones.
Yes, which actress who'd been nominated several times for an Olivier Award for her performance in shows such as Billy Elliot and City of Angels won one posthumously in 2024 for her role in the play When Winston Went to War with the Wireless?
Celia Imrie.
No, Hayden Gwynn. What word for a split, cured and smoked fish, usually a herring that's often served as a breakfast item, is also applied to a very wide, brightly coloured style of necktie?
Kipper.
Yes, the phrase, I think, therefore I am, is generally attributed to which French philosopher born in 1596?
Descartes.
Yes, in the context of radio waves, the abbreviation AM stands for what term?
Anti-meridian.
No, amplitude modulation. The 2021 UK hit album An Evening with Silk Sonic is a collaboration between Anderson .Paak and which chart-topping American singer?
Justin Bieber.
No, Bruno Mars, Leavenworth in Kansas, Angola in Louisiana, and Attica in New York State are locations in the United States of notorious examples of what type of institution?
Prison.
Yes, what term for a small group of boats is taken from a diminutive form of a Spanish word for fleet?
Flotilla.
Yes, in 2007, the opera-singing mobile phone salesman Paul Potts was the first winner of what television show?
Britain's Got Talent.
Yes, what's the name of the type of contest popular in the Middle Ages in which two men on horseback, each carrying a lance, would charge at each other and try to unseat their opponents?
Jousting.
Yes, the relatively peaceful revolution led by members of the armed forces which took place in Portugal in 1974 is named after what flower?
Violet.
No, carnation, the name of what contagious disease often characterized by a difficulty in breathing? I've studied so I'll finish. The name of what contagious disease, often characterized by a difficulty in breathing or swallowing, is derived from a Greek word for leather because of the tough membrane that forms in the throats of those who contract it.
Pneumonia.
No, it's diphtheria. Phil, at the end of that round, you had no passes. You've got 22 points.
Thank you.
So let's have a look at the final scores. In fourth place with 11 points, it's Rashmi. In third place with 19 points, it's Lewis. In second place with 22 points, it's Phil. So in first place with 25 points, it's Claire, which means she goes through to the grand final. Congratulations to her. If you'd like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
It's hard to believe that I'm through to the final, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to be in the semi-final.
Claire, you didn't win your heat last time around, but as the highest scoring runner-up, you're back.
So the prospects of being in the final is kind of unbelievable.
And your specialist subject?
Joseph Chamberlain. Having grown up in Birmingham, Joseph Chamberlain is a name that you see a lot and you hear a lot about the name, but I didn't really know that much about the man and what he'd done and all the things that he'd done for Birmingham. So it was an opportunity really to understand a bit more about him, learn a bit more about him and the impact that he had, not just on Birmingham, but on the world, really.
Claire, at the end of that round, no passes, 25 points.
Thank you. The idea that I've got to the final in my first try at anything like this is a little bit crazy, but very excited.